So we're back with Battlefield 2042 a lot sooner than I thought we would be, but not necessarily with the update that I thought we'd be starting with to kick off the new year. This is update 3.1.2 and it's the lead up to the Breakaway and Class rework coming later this month. Now we haven't got that many changes to go through with this update, but there are a few that you might not be aware of if you've just been looking at social media for this update, so let's go through them right now. The biggest ones, of course, are the 6 new weapons in the Battlefield 1942 arsenal, which is awesome. I've been playing a bit of this recently on community servers, and it's been a lot of fun. So we've now got a new revolver, some new rifles, specifically sniper rifles, and the Sten gun. It's lovely to see all of these in the game. There also appears to be a new shotgun in 1942, which wasn't there before. This wasn't in the patch notes, but it's awesome to see that. And we've also got, finally, a 1942 mode on the rotation and portal. It is Conquest and Rush. It's so nice to see these back. It's been fine playing on community servers, but they do have restricted XP most of the time. So it's great to have a full XP experience from DICE themselves. Please keep this up. As of recording, I haven't had the chance to try out all of these, but I will do in the future. But just let me know in the comments below if you've tried them and what you think of them. I'm really curious to see what the animations are like with reloading and shooting. It's always nice to see what the devs do with the older firearms in terms of reload animations, and I'm interested to see how these ones perform. Also, do bear in mind that these new weapons don't have any unlock requirements like the M2 carbine did. You can just go ahead and use them in 1942, which is great to see. Even though the progression is kind of satisfying when you do it, the challenges were a little annoying to do in online servers, which I did. So I'm glad that they've scrapped that with the requirements and just let you use the weapons in Portal. It's more accessible for everyone and should be the standard going forward. And we've got a lot more small balance changes and other smaller fixes coming with this update today. The first of which is that Spearhead is now available in Battlefield Portal in all of its official layouts, which is awesome to see in the web builder. We've got a few fixes for the camera in Spearhead at the start of the round, and we've also got a fix for the specialist rendering issues at the start of the round where you'd see their teeth sticking out the front of their head. As for specific specialists, Sundance's anti-armor grenade will now be correctly intercepted by vehicles that have APS system triggered, whether it was a bit finicky before, whether it did or didn't. And Crawford's turret has had its overheating icon fixed, so it'll always show when it's overheating when sometimes it didn't before. The 50mm cannon on air transport vehicles has increased its ammo capacity from 8 to 10, giving it a little buff, and the Tor tank's turret speed has been fixed because before it would slow after firing its main primary weapon, but now it keeps a consistent speed and doesn't slow down at all, which is good to see. A change I'm really happy to see is that recoil compensation has been fixed in some cases with weapons when firing for longer periods of time. This has been something I've noticed a little bit, mostly with Vault weapons. It's going to be interesting to see in the long run whether I notice this change overall, but it does seem better with this update. Something I complained a little bit about when the Rorsch Mark IV was introduced into the game was that it kind of replaces the NDW-50 as an anti-armor weapon. This has been remedied a little bit, putting the Rorsch in its own light vehicle destroyer category a little bit because it still can do damage to vehicles, but just not as much as the NTW-50. Heavy vehicles now take approximately 50% less damage, and light vehicles now take about 25% less damage. It's good to see this gun fit into its niche a little bit more, so you won't be spamming those shots on tanks and killing them in a matter of seconds if you've got a full squad of these guns. The charge up time for the high power shot, which is the single shot mode, has also been increased to 1 second from 0.8 seconds, so you'll have a little bit more charge up time for this gun. Another gun that has been balanced is the MCX 880. This is the shotgun that kind of had itself nerfed into oblivion in the last update, whereas before that it was pretty damn powerful, so now it's in line with the other utility weapons, because before it wasn't really worth using the MCS, you might as well use the auto or the MBK, but now it's back up there as one of the good choices. Going into specifics, the damage per pellet for buckshot has been increased almost by double from 8 to 15 at a range of under 20 meters, which is great to see. The buckshot was kind of awful as it stood in the game, but now it's back, not quite to where it was before, but almost. It's more balanced, which is good to see. And finally, the NBK pistol has its burst per minute increased from 150 to 160, which increases its tempo. And even though I don't use this weapon a lot, I've seen some people who do, so it's good to have a little buff to that. Now those are all of the changes. Pretty short update for this one, but it's nice to see a little bit of prep for the update coming later this month, and the devlog does confirm that update 3.2 is coming later this month. I'd suspect maybe on January 31st, later down the line, where we will see the breakaway map get its rework and the return to classes. Anyway, let me know down below if you've tested any of the portal weapons yet, what you think about the balance changes, and your overall opinions. Of course, if you want to come talk to me or anybody else that loves this game, head over to the No Salt Discord with the links in the description below, and I hope to see you there, and I also hope to see you in the next video.